A longtime Republican operative has predicted that the Republican Party is going to die. Now, not physically. He's not saying like every Republican is going to go out there and croak. He means the party itself is dying. And it's going to go the way of the Whig Party from the early 1800s. Let me read you this. This is from Mike Madrid, author of Great Transformation. And this is what he said. The old GOP is dead, much the same way as the Whigs left the scene. There is no coming back. The Democratic Party is the conservative party today, at least in the Burkean sense, as the guardian of institutions against populist destruction and countercultural institutional attack manifested in today's GOP. If you think Reagan was a precursor to Trump, I would submit you have a very elementary understanding of what's happening to our society, let alone our political system. We are struggling to address this century's problems with last century's ideas. If the American experiment is to be saved, the Democratic Party must focus on securing and protecting us from the emergent threat. No other policies matter until that is hardwired into the system. As for the Republicans, well, they gave up in November 2016 when they capitulated on everything they believed in with the false hope that they would be saved simply by not losing power. First they lost their soul, then their party. Now we're perilously close to losing the country because they see it as lost already. Now, let me go ahead and address some issues here. If you think Reagan was a precursor to Trump, I would submit you have a very elementary understanding of what's happening to our society, let alone our political system. I think that is a very stupid statement by an unintelligent person, by the way. Also, I would submit to you, Mike Madrid, you go back to roughly the year 2006 or 2007. I can't remember exactly when I wrote it, but I did a post, an article in a local paper that was also posted online called RIP GOP 20 years ago. And you know how I actually started that? I actually started by talking about the death of the Whig Party and how the Republican Party was obviously on that same trajectory. Much like exactly you did 20 years after I previously had done that. Now, I was wrong. Obviously, the Republican Party did not die after George W. Bush left office. In spite of all the damage he did to the country, the damage he did to the world, the damage he did to the economy, the damage he did to the federal government, we limped along. We grew back, and then, of course, Trump came, shat on everything, and we're in the same situation again, 20 years later. Kind of like how W. Bush was 20 years after Reagan, right? Do you not see those patterns, Mike Madrid? I know you think that you're way smarter than everybody else. We can tell by the words you're using, by your grammar. You sound so intelligent. But unfortunately, the Republican Party is not dying. The Republican Party is morphing again, just like it morphed in the 80s under Reagan. And to say that it didn't, it's not elementary, like it's just factually wrong. The Republican Party changed the way it operated, the way it worked, their talking points, their policies in the 80s. That is a fucking fact, dude. And if you don't understand that, then you're not somebody anybody should listen to about American politics. I don't even know who this guy is. He may be the most popular guy ever. He may be a New York Times best-selling author 1,000 times over. He may hold a Nobel Prize. I don't know. I've never heard of him. But I can tell you his analysis is very dumb and short-sighted, because he is predicting things that people like myself predicted 20 years ago that never came to fruition. I'm willing to admit I was wrong. Although, was I? Because when you think about it, obviously, the Republican Party of George W. Bush doesn't exist today. It did die. And it morphed into whatever the hell this MAGA thing is today. So, I don't know. Maybe I was wrong, maybe I wasn't, but you go back 20 years, you're not going to see the same Republican Party that you see today. Thanks for watching, and if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and do not forget to like and comment and share widely among your friends.